Now I get a lot of other artists that hit me up and like they like my work. It's a solidifying moment that I'm on the right track. I'm getting the right eyes on my work. When I got into drawing, I was like 5 years old. And the reason I got into it was because my older brother could draw and I got jealous. There's not many things I stick to, but like when it comes to art stuff, like I glue to it. I was mainly just drawing all the way up until college. Like I didn't do anything else besides like sketching. And like in my head it was like, why would I do anything else? I'm good at that. And then I started getting into painting, just like seeing how color was used in art. That's when graffiti pretty much caught my eye. We'd always go to like dance battles and stuff in college. And then I'd meet other graffiti heads. And like at that time, I liked graffiti because of like, there's a game called Getting Up, I think it's called. I think a lot of people my age love graffiti from that game. So like I used to steal paint from school and like just make like mops. So it's where you take like a old leather polish pen and you put felt in the tip and you put like really watery paint in it, and it gives you like a dripping effect when you do tags and stuff. From a young age, I learned I didn't want to work for somebody else. A normal job is not going to be the way, but I also realized art isn't the way to make money right now. So I was like, how can I make my art more valuable and more mainstream, right? Where the audience is a lot bigger. And I learned real quick, I had a passion for streetwear, always loved streetwear. And like, the reason is like, there was so much graffiti in streetwear. So from there, I was like, maybe if I make t-shirts, this is a way that I can still do art, but make it sustainable. I did a white t-shirt and a black t-shirt, the exact same thing. It was just a graffiti throw up on the back, just one color. And then a logo on the front, which wasn't the main logo that I have now, which is the circle logo. I actually came up with that in a dream the night before they started production. And like I woke up in the middle of the night, I sketched it out from a dream, and then I put it on my tablet, fell back to sleep, thought I dreamt all of that, woke up, and like halfway through the day I realized that it was on my tablet, and I was like, oh shit. So I did it properly, and then I sent it to the guy that was screen printing for me, and he's like, if you sent it an hour later, I would have started making the screens and you wouldn't be able to change it. So it was like a perfect moment. That it was the worst t-shirt I've ever done. It was horrible, it was so bad. I was only just getting into Photoshop as well. It was like real janky. I don't know what I said to them, but people brought it, which is crazy. Because now I look at it, I'm like, that's fucking horrible. It still got me enough money to do another drop, which was hoodies. And that's when I went into like embroidering and stuff. But in school, I used to paint like old shoes and stuff. And I started missing that side of it. So I started buying old jackets. It was a way that I could like upcycle. Like we had a couple here and I was like, oh, I'll paint them. I kept painting more and I took them to Armageddon, but I was too scared to actually put them up. I was like, people are gonna buy the merch way more than they're gonna buy the jackets. And on the first day we sold half of them. And I was just like, holy shit. So as soon as I got home, I painted 2 more. I stayed up all night, which was stupid. I was so fucking tired the next day. And we sold 18 that weekend, 18 jackets that I was scared to put up away. And that's where that imposter syndrome comes in. At that point, I was like, this is great. How can I keep doing this? And I'm like a sneakerhead, so I got back into painting shoes. But I also paint bags. It broadened the audience. Like not everyone wants a jacket and not everyone wants shoes. So it's kind of like each of these things touched each like corner. I blew up on TikTok, like just showing the process. Once I started putting myself in front of the cameras, when it started blowing up. I went from like 200 followers to 3,000 in a couple of days. I was just like, oh shit. And then I went to 9,000 and I was just like, what the fuck is happening? So that was crazy. Like just to see that like so many people wanted to know what I was doing. Iconic Chaos is literally just like an expression of me. So when I first started it, it was more like, look, I can do this, I can stand out, like this is iconic. I come up with ideas and I get fixated on them and I need to like express them somehow or like make that idea come a reality. There's gonna get to a point where I can't do it though. where there's too much demand and not enough time, especially with all the projects I want to be doing. Advice I would give for like starting out is passion is the main thing. Like once you have that and you understand that like that's what you want to do, there's always a way. Research is key, but don't let research be a barrier. There's a point where so much research works until you have to experience stuff. Everything will go wrong. You will have so much more losses than you will wins. You will have so many more problems. And the people that make it are the people that know how to get through that. As long as you keep at it, you will always find a way. And if you treat your passion like that, I think you'll get through it. So like it was hard, like going from sketching to like trying to do graffiti was quite hard because you have to use your whole body really, because it's such a big canvas. Most people call all graffiti tagging. Tagging is just straight letters like what you see on here. Then you have throbs, which is like real simple stuff. It's just like 3 of their letters. Something they can do really quick, like bubble letters usually. Quick colors just to get their name up, and it's called Getting Up, which is what the name of that game was called. And then you have burners, which are like chrome pieces that are real quick, like a huge step up from throwers. And then you got riders. So riders are ones that usually just do letters. I was more of a characters guy. I didn't really get a big name in the graffiti world when I was doing graffiti. So like people saw my stuff, but they didn't know my name. But like even like I get people hitting me up now and they're like, it's crazy to see you've done something with graffiti. Because like even while I was doing it, people were like, this isn't gonna get you anywhere, this is a waste of time. In my head I was like, yeah, you're right, but I'm doing it because I want to. Back then it wasn't about building anything, it was just doing what I loved. There's something addictive about it. You start seeing the world differently too. Like you start seeing the world as spots. It's a huge culture. Not a lot of people talk about like how big the culture actually is, and we have our rules. A lot of people think just like the whole idea of graffiti and the graffiti community is to just really fuck with everybody, when it's not. It's just a way to express. Community is easily one of the biggest goals for me. I learned real quick that building each other up and helping each other is the easiest way to life. Once you start talking to like-minded people, you can go for ages. And I think if we can build each other up, understand that there are so many people and so many opportunities in this world. So I started a podcast called Surely Not, and it is literally just so I can sit down and have a conversation with people who are following their passions, even if it's not like their full-time thing, but are putting energy towards a passion that makes them happy and something they can build off. I'm very big on building empires, and I understand empires are multiple people, not just yourself. And I want Surely Not to be a bridge in that, where other people, it's literally building links to each other. Like already I've had people who have met just because they both came onto the podcast and they liked each other's episodes, so they hit each other up, which is what it is about for me.